So we're going to talk about the Bitcoin Transcripts Reviewer. And before we get too deep into the weeds, just wanted to remind everybody what we're doing here. So this is the Bitcoin Transcripts site, and this is a collection of different transcripts that have pretty much exclusively been done by hand. That's pretty impressive, but you sort of have to be a competitive speed typer like Brian Bishop in order to do something like this. And so, what we're hoping is that we can unlock some of the great content in podcasts and conference talks. And to do that, we need the help of the community. So, I've done a fair bit of transcription review. It helps me learn, and I listen to this stuff anyway. So, giving back by reviewing transcripts is hopefully something that more of us will make the time to do. So, um, so this is an example of what one of these transcripts looks like. This is some metadata about what this is, who the transcript was by, and here are some headers that have been inserted about reproducible builds, about bugs in GCC, and sort of things in the weeds that the hope is that that these semantic headers can allow us to identify sort of what this podcast is about. This is the raw version of this, so you can find this on the Bitcoin Transcripts GitHub, and this is a particular markdown file. That markdown file looks like this in its raw form. So here is the metadata that you might recognize from here, and in it we can see that a human has gone through and actually labeled who's speaking at what time and whatnot. So the whole goal of this is, again, to sort of like unlock audio and make it searchable, and sort of the whole, the goal in the end is that you can go to a technical search and find reproducible builds, and this will link back to the source that it came from. Cool. So I'm going to go ahead and sign in. So you have to be logged in through GitHub because we use GitHub as part of our workflow. And I'm going to go ahead and find something to edit. So this is going to be a podcast with James O'Byrne. And we can go ahead and start editing things. So we can do James O'Byrne, the speakers. We can do Adam Jonas, not in there. We can do John Newberry, who is in there, and just sort of like just go ahead and add the things that we know need to be in here. So just some detail. So what I found is the easiest for sort of wholesale replacement. So you'll see things like speaker 0, speaker 1, speaker 2. What we're going to need is some pretty like major search and replace here. So what I've been doing is I've been taking these and putting them in my text editor. So sort of put it in there. I've been taking the source and putting
Bitcoin is a very complex piece of software, and it's very
here. And then I can just go ahead and sort of just follow along. So speaker 0, I know is going to be James. So I can go ahead and do that. Place all of those. Speaker 1. It's going to be John. So I can do that. And et cetera. So that's how we do it. And again, I can just follow along with this. So if I have this in one window and I have this in another, I can click this.
Difficult to review for correctness.
I can even change the speeds and things like that. So I'm gonna edit this, and I'll see you on the other side to submit it. So I feel pretty good about this editing job. I've added some headers here. I've changed all the speakers. I've corrected the language that I think was off, and I've added things like headers here where appropriate. So I'm going to grab this, I'm going to go back to my editor and I'm going to put this in. And then I'm going to go ahead and submit this. So I'm going to double check that everything's right. This date looks right, the category looks right, tags, speakers, title, everything looks good to me. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to submit it. So this is going to fork it for me. It's going to create a PR on my behalf. I don't have to worry about it. And I am going to be able to track that going forward. So here's my PR link. I can go right there, can make sure that this is right. I can get that feedback in the future, and I can also be able to track it here. So on here, I can see that there's things under review. Again, I have those links that I can go to, and when this is merged, I'll make sure that this is live and I can track the links. So as you use this project, we hope that you will give us your feedback, but more importantly, we hope that you will give us your review. Thanks.